Hi, Debbie.
We are live now. I'm so excited to do this full moon show.
Yes, me as well.
Okay, thanks for helping me out on this one for sure. I'm going to bring our pictures up into the broadcast, and so that we're going to be, hi, you guys, we're going to be doing a lot of pictures today and talking about what you can do in the full moon, but actually what I do for the full moons and the new moons. And also, Sabine, you have given me a lot of pictures of your stuff so that we'll be able to talk about that. So there's something wonderful about going out and doing a ritual and working in the full moon, isn't there?
Yes, it's wonderful.
It's got such great energy.
Yes, we're trying to clear and
Sabi-
to balance the energy.
right. And Sabine, like I do all kinds of intentions for the full moon, such as asking for an abundance of psychic awareness, prosperity, and of course, love. And of course, I have clients, so I'm also doing rituals for them. And also luck and wealth and all kinds of good things. So personally, what do you use the full moon for? Is it more cleansing or charging something or actually doing a ritual?
Most of the time I do a rituals and I just like to clear first. And then I use a chimenea outside. So, I start writing stuff down on paper and I put the paper in my chimenea and then I burn stuff. So this is kind of the shamanic way to do it. And then after that, I manifest things and I charge my items like the crystals and my jewelry and candles. And of course, also I burn a lot of candles. And for me, it's, two things at the same time. It's to clear and to manifest whatever I wish for at the time.
That's really great. There is an abundance of things that we can do during a new moon or full moon. I think that people love the light of the full moon, but you guys, if you are working and need to get some stuff done, a ritual cleansing or clearing, you can do it in the new moon as well. So you have two good chances and opportunities to go ahead and work with the moon during the month. We have a full moon coming up on Monday, and here on the Pacific coast, it's going to be at 1:30 in the morning. So Sunday, we're going to put our things out. So do go to, I believe it's timeanddate.com and check for your moon phases for sure. So we have a full strawberry moon coming up, which is really great. And I'm excited to be putting some things out this time for that. We're going to be talking tonight about what we do and showing our pictures of some of the things that we put out or actual altars that we've made, things like that. And so it'll be an opportunity for you to take notes. So get your pads and paper out. Of course, we're going to keep this video so you can go ahead and look back at it. Hi, Julie. Want to say hi to Julie. She says hello, and she wants to know if I feel better. Julie, I went immediately and started healing on myself when I didn't feel well last night. And a friend sent healing, and immediately I felt better. So I woke up good and feeling really good. So thank you for asking. Always, if we're going to have, Sabine, a healing show. We have to, because there's so many different ways that you can heal. It really does work.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go ahead and start in a few minutes. We have a couple of viewers, which is really great. I didn't schedule the broadcast, which I should have done. Give fair warning. And even my good camera is not attached. And so we have a little tiny bit of lag in our audio also. But, it is what it is. And I think that we can see everything pretty good. I made our pictures pretty big, Sabine. Are you able to see the pictures?
Yes, they look great.
Okay. Well, that first picture is yours. So do you want to tell us about it a little bit?
Yes. So what you see in the background, which is, the red kind of tall thing, this is my chimenea that I actually use to burn stuff. So, and if you want to burn anything, especially if, if you're in a warmer climate like we are, be super cautious, what you do and where you do it. So this is what I use. I write the things that I want to release on little tiny pieces of paper, and then I will take it outside, and then I will burn the paper, and then I put a little dream catcher on there that I also have outside the night before the full moon to charge all these items. And then in the front you see in the middle on the shell, on the abalone shell, so that one is my wealth altar, and that one has jade on there and pyrite, cinnamon sticks, allspice, dill, black sesame seeds, and I have that along with green candles that I burn almost every night, and then I take it out usually before the new moon and the full moon to charge that. And then to the left and to the right of the shell, you see my jars, and I can show you one right here. This is the purple one. This is the one for love, and these are the Wiccan salt jars. And I took a wonderful class at Debbie's. It was a meetup, and that's where we learned how to make those. And then I started to make these myself, and I use them every day. And they basically all have the same base, which is the salt. And this one, the purple one, has a little bit of Himalayan salt, and then kosher salt or sea salt, whatever you want to use. And then, has herbs and flowers. And then I put a Palo Santo on there that I also use to smudge my house, or smudge sticks. And these ones actually have little lights in there. And then you can, turn the battery operated fairy lights on at night, and it looks really nice. And then the purple one is for love. And then the other one, the green one, is for wealth.
So I call those the blessing jars.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And they truly are.
Mm-hmm. They are. They work really well. So did we see everything on that table?
Yes, and then in the middle, I have a lot of driftwoods that I get here at the beach, and it's a great source for driftwood, and you find really good pieces. And then I do charge my driftwoods with different crystals and feathers. So this one in the middle that you see, I put raw selenite sticks on there. And then, of course, the feathers. And I put my driftwood out there too, to charge it, to renew the energy. So, whatever is meaningful to you or whatever you like, you can put this out there and charge the stuff up with fresh energy.
So when we're talking about charging, Sabine said it very well. We're a new item that you have. You want to clear it if you feel that you need to clear the energy, and you put it out to set your intention and to bring the energy into it that you want. And you can recharge things. If you're protecting your home, you want to recharge your items in the home that are for protection. I would say weekly on that. So we have about every 2 weeks that you can charge for a different moon phase. So we want to get that energy in and make it strong.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, are we ready for another picture?
Yes.
I'm excited to be able to know how to change the picture at this point. There we go.
Yes, good job.
Yes. So what do we have here, Sabine? This is one of your pictures.
So this one, I actually did a Celtic ritual here, and that was kind of interesting. You can go online and, you will find like the whole sequence of, how you light candles. So this one was one where you have, the 4 direction candles, and they have different colors. So what I'm using, I can show you one here. is a little taper candle in a little holder. And then you would have a red, a yellow, a green, and a blue one. And you would address the directions. And then you have a white, bigger candle, the goddess candle, that you can either light before you light the other ones or after. And then, we kind of did the same thing. I was there with a couple of people at my house, and we did the whole ritual. And we were burning the candles first, and we were also smudging. And then after, we wrote our releases that we wanted to have done for that full moon also on paper. Then we burned it later. And then afterwards, we were listening to Celtic music.
Oh, that's really nice. What do the colors of your candles represent?
They represent the elements, the water, the earth, the air, and the fire.
Awesome.
And
That's really great.
yes, and then also the direction. So, if you want to do a Celtic ritual, you can, go online or buy a book, or read up on that. There are different articles that you can find online, and there are different ways you can do it. So I think you should find the one that you can connect to, and then you can have it your own way or in your own style that fits your needs. So this one, we always, as a shaman, I always want to connect to the elements. So and when I did this ritual, these candles helped to bring everything in, and it was very powerful.
Yes, and as Sabine said, you can get a guideline to help you to know how to set things up, and you can make it your own. So
Yeah.
whatever resonates with you that you want to do, and we're going to give you we're giving you samples tonight, tell you what we put on our own altars, and just do what you want. And I want you guys to remember, Sabine makes beautiful, beautiful things in her Etsy shop, Spiritual Galaxy. We'll talk about that in a while. But you can set things up as opulent and beautiful as you want, and full, or as simple as you want, because the intention, and that I say that from the Wiccan side, is where the magic is. And Sabine, we know that there's energy in everything that we're putting down. So yes. We're working with that to set our intentions and to clear our cleanse, and then to send upwards or to the goddess or God our intentions of what we want to happen. So that was a beautiful, beautiful table there. It's just gorgeous. And I love that. So we're going to go on to another one. If you guys have questions, just post them, because I can see the questions. And I'm not taking the time right now to share with other audiences, because it's just me here. So we will share this, and it will be on different places, and people will be able to still ask us questions, and we always go through the comments and the posts, and we comment back. So here we go. Now this is gorgeous. These candelabras I'm in love with. So Sabine, tell us a little bit about what you have out here.
So basically, I put a lot of stuff out there. So the candelabras are black glass, and I was trying to find those for about 20 years. So when I finally was able to get them, I was so happy. So I always put them out there, and they have, the little crystals on there. And since they're black, I got the pink candles, and they're also for love. So I think that works very well. And then I have what you see in the front there is Lemurian quartz cluster. And then I put different candles out there, and also a dream catcher, which you can see in the middle. And then I have a smudge stick on there, which I used during the ceremony. And then I put all my crystals out. One is a selenite heart. If you can see this one. Then what I also like, I got this online, is a little moon. The little crystals are inside this little moon shape thing. Then
That's beautiful.
I like to use my obsidian. And I use this one with my selenite heart to balance energies. So I always put these two together, and you can see this one, and then I put the rainbow aura quartz on there. This is smoky quartz for grounding. Then I have the moon candle. It's so cute and it smells like roses. So I will
Ooh.
try to show you this one here. This is the
Oh, wow.
yeah, and it's really pretty and it smells so good. And then I made a Luna candle that I use for my moon ceremonies, and it looks like this.
Oh, those candles you make are beautiful. And I thank you so much for gifting one to me.
Oh, sure. So, and what else do we have? Yes, and then we have, yeah, you can see on the photo that how I place the crystals. So I'm trying to do a crystal grid that you also do, Debbie. So mine is, kind of with the heart shapes, and then I have the rose quartz on there too, and I have the piece of driftwood out there. So when I do a table, I always put different elements so I can connect to everything.
Julie wrote beautiful tables, Sabine.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Julie. And you're right. They're just gorgeous. So there we go. Let's look at some more. We have lots of pictures, which I really love that we have all of this tonight. So we really can get into it. So is there anything different on the table in this picture?
No, I think it's the same. It was just a different angle.
Okay. It's just those candelabras are just gorgeous. Have you seen them anywhere since you found these?
No, you know what? They're not in production anymore. And I actually had to call because they only had 6 of them sitting in a warehouse somewhere. So I said, please reserve 2 for me. So they don't make those anymore.
Oh my gosh, how special. But you know what? The other side, the universe and the other side, they bring the things to you.
They
And
do.
I have a picture later on of I found a green bowl at the thrift store that was quite a find. And matter of fact, there was a dealer in there and she grabbed it from me to look at it. And she said, "You found something really good." I said, "I know." And so I go, whatever. And I was recently there and it's been months recently there. And I went, "Are you kidding me?" And I picked up this dish and it belongs to the same company in the same color. And I go, "What are the odds?" And
Yes.
one other time, I found a little Pennsylvania Dutch pedestal, like little tiny mini cake stand that was multi molded, which means it's very old. And I loved it so much, and my sister loved it. So I gifted it for her 70th birthday. And I kind of mourned the loss because I like it so much. And I went over to the thrift store. Now, this is like a year later. I go to the thrift store and I see these ugly things in this glass and I just walk away. Then I go back before I leave and I said, "Let me look at that ugly dish, that thing." And I lifted it up and I said, "It's the Pennsylvania Dutch complimentary item to what I gave to my sister." I go, "What are the odds I'd ever see this in my life?" So
Wow.
do you guys put in your mind what you want? You're manifested. The universe is going to bring it to you. It's amazing, but it works. And we have a couple people I know. I think Sheila and Carlos are here. So we want to say hello to you guys. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this. So that's your photo also.
Yes. Yeah, that is my little moon candle. Well, it's kind of big, so I
Yeah.
have to put it on a little tray. It's a little bit heavy, and it says I won't even burn it because it's so pretty. So I'm just going to look at it, but I will have it outside, before the full moon to charge it.
Is that from was that from Etsy or a local artisan?
Actually, it's from Etsy.
Oh, we love Etsy.
Yes, and actually, I ordered this candle because I kind of wanted to see what it looks like, because I'm thinking about doing moon candles. I just don't know about the size, and they have different molds. So and what kind of wax I'm going to use. So I just kind of wanted to to get the feel for it, and how heavy it is. But it's really so pretty. So I think this will be one of my next projects.
Oh, well, your stuff is absolutely gorgeous, and you're just so gifted and talented. So,
Thank you.
Sabine's store, Etsy store, is Spiritual Galaxy. So, she sponsors our show a lot. So please go and look at her stuff. It's just beautiful.
Thanks.
Okay. Oh, is JC here? Want to say hi? So you have this photo here. What is that, Sabine?
Oh, that's the sage. So I started to plant sage here, and Debbie and I, we went to a couple of nurseries, and Debbie pointed out that beautiful pineapple sage to me that I hadn't seen before. Now, this is not the pineapple sage; that is the Pozo blue sage that I use for my shamanic smudge candles, and it's a sweet sage, and it smells heavenly, and it has those beautiful flowers, and they're all blooming right now. And I think it's the same as the white sage. Energy wise, it just doesn't have the very strong white sage scent.
Okay. I actually have a cousin that goes around the world, and she is a shaman also. And I was blown away when she told me how many varieties of sage there is. And I can't
Yes.
remember. We'll have to look it up, but I think it was over 100, or could have been a lot more. We'll have to look that one up.
Yeah,
But
we need to shop more, Debbie.
oh, well, we've done our share already. I mean, I almost took a picture of my thyme plant that is, like that big. And we love having our herbs in the garden, and it's cost effective for us to be using our rosemary and our thyme and our sage and all of that we have in. Also protects our property. Okay.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And what I do, and I'm sure you do that too, maybe in a different way, but when I open sacred space in my house, like for instance, when I do a drum circle or I just do drumming on my own, I include my garden. So I want, the good vibes that I have in the house outside too. I want it for the plants.
Yeah. Well, I open sacred space if I'm going to work, like I'm making my candles. And what I do is very different from what you do, because I watch you do it when we do our moon circles and stuff. And so I am, asking for help. I'm clearing the energy and making actually walls of energy around the area. When I work, I don't talk. And when somebody's working with me, it's minimal talking, because your energy comes out of your hands, you're grabbing it, you're putting and infusing it into, say, the candles. And it always has to stay on what you're making. If it's for love, it's loving thoughts. If it's for protection, you've got a different mindset. This is for protection, and if you're doing healing, it's always that healing in there. So it has to be nonstop thought onto your whatever you're doing. And even if I walk out of it, I have to bring down the wall. Then I can walk out. I put the wall back up. And then when I come, I pull it down and go back in, and then put my wall back up. So it's a little bit different than, of course, because you guys, I'm Wiccan trained, and Sabine's a shaman. So we have a little bit different things, but it's all energy work. And when you guys are working and doing things, whatever feels right and is good is going to work out. The other side knows what your intentions are. So I'm going to go on to the next picture. And let's see. Okay. Oh, now I know these and I love them. And I know you have one right there. So you
I
want to
do.
tell us about it?
Yes. So they're two of my sound bowls, our singing bowls. There are quartz bowls. There's also alchemy bowls, which have a different kind of material. They have quartz too, but not 99.9% quartz. So these are my two of my bowls, and then the one on the right is the third eye. This is a 10-inch size, and then the one on the left is the root chakra, and that's an 8-inch size. So you can see the bigger you get with the bowls, the heavier they get, of course. So if you plan to, have a couple and you want to take them, maybe go to a friend's house or to an event. So if you get yourself like, I don't know, a 16-inch or a 20-inch bowl, it will be kind of heavy. So I like all the sizes, but I find that, the 8-inch size is kind of handy when you do a sound bath or somewhere, you go somewhere, it's not as heavy to carry. And the design on those, I do like color, so I got myself the lotus bowls, which you can see, how the design is on the bottom, and I just love that about those bowls, and they sound really great. And then the background, you see two of my drums. So I started painting drums, and they're vegan drums. I'm a vegetarian, so I don't want any animal hide on my drums. So these ones have a fiber skin, so therefore they're vegan drums. And then the orange one is my own drum, which I use for drum circles, and the sound is really great. I love that drum. And I also have them on Etsy. And then the little one I actually painted for a friend, but he didn't pick it up yet. But it's also a vegan drum, and it has a little design on there that I actually saw when we went to a restaurant. So I took a picture of it. It's a little bird, and you can't see the bear because the bowl is in front of it. But the bird is kind of sitting, on the back of the bear, and they're just, kind of walking along. And I like it so much that, I decided to paint that on that little drum.
Oh, it's so cute. Do you have a singing bowl right there where you can demonstrate just a
I
short
do,
one?
yes.
Oh, great. That would be great. Let's do that.
Okay, so let's go for it.
So you guys, you can use drumming and singing bowls and put it in your ritual, in new moon, full moon, or anything that you do.
Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I had to take this out of my ears because it would be really loud. You guys,
Yes.
if you haven't experienced a singing bowl, go to a meetup and be there, because they're super loud and they're just wonderful. And so thank you, Sabine, for that. Let's keep going. And your drums are fantastic, and it's always fun to go a drum circle.
Yes, it is.
And okay, there's all your things together. Oh, there's the drum with the bird on it, and what is it, the bear?
Yeah, it's a bear, yes.
I saw it up close, so it's really neat. And you do sell your drums in your Etsy shop as well.
Yes.
Okay, so what do we have here?
Oh, this one, hold on, let me put my glasses on. I don't see that one yet. So, oh yeah, this one is the same. We had this one. I have the jars on there, and then I have I put the dream catcher in the back. You see the sage, and this is the Mirage Violet sage. So I always do little clippings of the sage, and then this one has purple flowers, and they smell really gorgeous. And I use that for my smudge sticks. And if you plant sage in your garden, you can, absolutely clip it and have it in a vase for a couple of days. It smells really good. good. It has some good energy. So, and then we have the driftwood again. So this is, I put the sage in pots because I find, at least for myself, that they thrive better in pots than in the ground. I don't know what the reason is, but it's also, it's easier to move, the pots around. If you have, if you want to set a table, and let's say you want sage in there, so you can move the whole pot with a plant, and you can charge your items with the sage as well.
It here in Southern California, it's difficult if you want to take wild sage and replant it. You're not going to have a lot of luck. So I agree with Sabine on putting them in pots and find their happy place. That's what you have to do with plants. You have to find their happy place.
Yes,
Moving them
exactly.
around.
And then this one in this pot is really doing well. And I added the pineapple sage as well too. And they just seem to like the pots.
If you guys haven't ever experienced, there's pineapple sage and you rub it, it smells just like a pineapple. It's amazing. And that
It
was
really
funny
is.
because you were so surprised. I go, oh, I want you to rub those leaves. And oh,
Yes,
wow.
and exactly. They smell really divine. And that's when I decided, hey, I'm going to make a pineapple sage candle.
Oh, and they're wonderful. They're wonderful. Sabine makes her candles, and we'll have even fresh flowers in there and dried things and crystals, little selenites or all kinds of quartz and things. It's just beautiful. This is my picture. So this is actually one that I do ritual tables for clients and for new moon and full moon. And so I happened to find this mirror, this little gold one in a thrift store. And it was a child's mirror decoration. And so I like to put, you can see the big quartz, and there's Herkimer diamond and from New York, and some quartz and different things in there. If you wanted to do wealth, and we talked about that for a few minutes, because I want to give you a couple of things that you could put on there. So if you want to do wealth, I make my recipe cards, and you would put even, you could put coins, you could put copper, silver, gold, fool's gold, even brass, turquoise, pearls, tourmaline, all kinds of things like that. Even quartz, emerald. I have a little emerald. You can buy the emeralds and you think, oh my goodness, an emerald, but it isn't the good ones, but nonetheless, it's an emerald and you can use that on your tables. Peridot, anything green. You can put on there. But also there's a lot of things you can add, because for wealth, you would want happiness. So put in some lavender, and amethyst is good. If you want business success, you're going to get a bloodstone and add it to your table. But to enhance the magic and the power, you want to put a tangerine on your table, and also some vanilla. I want to tell you to protect your finances or money that comes in. Sabine was talking about obsidian. You can use that, or you can put an evil eye on. And I have a picture of an evil eye that will be coming up. But some of the things you can put in are clove, dill, ginger, nutmeg, a whole nutmeg, allspice, star anise, all kinds of things. I actually put a whole cabbage on also. And a persimmon, and of course the pineapple, right? Because Sabine, you can add a pineapple to your table, correct?
Absolutely. Yes. And I have done that before.
If you want to put some stones on for luck, you can put Apache cheers. That works. Turquoise, opals, tiger eyes, lepidite, and aventurine, or I use green. Is it calcite? So any of the green stones work really well. And you can see on the left-hand side, I have gobo root. The root can be 3 feet long, and it's very nutritious. So you can eat this after you put it on your table. And so I have a citrine in there, but I have a citrine point. So those are the things that I can see. My picture is kind of small. And so we're going to go on and see what the next picture is here. And Okay, so you can see that I put a lot of things. I have rosemary. I use dill. I use thyme a lot, and you can see mushrooms. So depending on what I'm doing, I'm going to use those are beach, or I'll use seafood mushrooms, or any type, because they are good to also put on there, and they're beautiful. And there's a little pewter bench there that I put my client's name on, and because you can use metals to ground your table. And so pewter's really a good one. And again, I'm in the thrift store and I happen to find that. And I think that's a little bowl of oats. Oats is also for wealth. So oats and almonds. So things like that you can put on. Nuts or whatever you have. The neat thing is, if you have things in your kitchen, you can put them out. You'll have something that you can use to put out. So, and start a rock garden. This is one of the tables that I did for a full moon. So I'll use a lot of dandelion roots and lots of greenery. And I got a purple cabbage because that gave a good color. Or you can use the green cabbage, is a little cheaper. So all kinds of little things on there, and a green candle. So if you're going to do, an eggplant. India eggplant's really good, but you can use any type. Okay. American's a little bit cheaper. And a compass so that my intentions can find their way. So I use charms as well. And I tie dragonflies on, or pentacles, or hearts, and all kinds of things onto my little bundles. And I'm going to keep going. I can't believe we've gone through so much time already. I'm like,
I know.
wow, it's so neat. This is another table that I made, and I'll go out if I need peace. I will go out and take a switch off of the olive tree, and then I have a gobo at the top of the table, and of course we have lemongrass stalks, a pink candle on that one. Now you can use regular candles, or you can sometimes a beeswax candle, depending on what you're doing. If I am dedicating the table to a deity, depending on the deity, I use beeswax. And you do a ritual whatever way you feel. When I was asked to do a cord cutting and clearing of a family ancestry, that, of any problems, I most certainly, and a deity on top of it, I actually asked a friend from India who told me how to, what offerings to leave for the deity. So I had honey and I had rum and all kinds of things on the table. And also I had a cord with 2 knots in it, and I cut it. And my intention was to clear the way, and using fluorite crystals to which clears the way for the path for all kinds of things. Then a lot of luck and wealth and things like that. But see, I make full tables, and I've got cinnamon sticks and star anise, and I've got pearls and all kinds of things on it. And it's just how I feel. Not each table is always different, but it's how I feel and resonate. Like we were talking, Sabine, how you feel that you want to present it. But on my tables, I use tablecloths. And now, again, I can set this table, and I love to have the tablecloth have to do with what I'm doing. Is say it had hearts on it for love, or shamrocks on it for wealth, or it's just a green tablecloth. I do that because I like to do it. But when you set intention on that table, and let's say you go to the rock, and to a big boulder, and you set a little votive candle, and you set a charm, and you set a piece of green glass or something, you're going to set your intention, and you're going to take it up and offer it up. It's really the strongest. There's really strong, because my belief is that intention is everything. So make it as simple as you want, or make it as beautiful or big as you want. It's up to you. And so this one was really fun and to set out. And I thought it came out really pretty, I felt like the gobo root was all like a bow, and we're going to shoot hearts out out of it or something. It was really fun. It was fun to do that one. And this was an autumn. In this instance, I had a couple and was doing a relationship, and they were more in the fall of their life. So it was fun to use my periwinkle and my autumn roses in that. So, you know, it resonated to me, their age and where they were in their life. And I wanted to represent that on the table as well.
So pretty.
And if anybody has any questions, I can see them. So you know. So we were talking about crystal grids. So Sabine, are you into the crystal grids now?
Yes.
And you can make them small. You can make them big, whatever you want to do. And all I suggest is that you could get the complete book of incense oils and brews, or you could get the Scott Cunningham's magical. Oh no, that's not it. The crystal book. I got it right here. Sorry, I didn't have it handy. This book here, or you can go online and you can see, look up all the crystals, because you really should use the ones that have the energy in them. And so I can't really see these good enough to see what they are, so I apologize. I think it was a prosperity one because they have a purple candle there. And I might have selenite and obsidian and the little sprinkles in there. You can buy the little bottles of chips, crystal chips. Do you use those, Sabine?
Yes, I do.
And you just sprinkle them. And you can put them in any of the things, the charms that you make, the bottles, the jars, the sachets, as long as they're, you know, close knit. And you can put your crystals in there as well. And we do that in everything. But you can make a design that you want, but you can go on to Google, and I believe you can put template for crystal grid, and it's going to come up. And you can print them off and you can put them down. But you don't have to do that. You can just say, I'm going to just put it in my design, is which I do. And importance, what is being pointing to the candle, you know, that type of thing. So, and your quartz, your clear quartz on your crystal grids amplify and boost what you're doing. Okay. So always and they're probably, Sabine, the least expensive rocks.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I can buy them for, you know, 50 cents. So for the points, yeah, for the points. So that's really good. And you guys, that's a big, giant turkey platter. That's a turkey platter. And I like to get the cake plates, but that's a turkey platter, I'm going to tell you.
Good
Okay.
choice.
It is. And again, just a simple quartz on a mirror on the table. You can see I have a seashell. You can, if you guys go eat seafood, you can take your clamshells home. But just I put pearls in there. I buy the pearls for like $1. And I think it's $2 for the big ones. And so, but you could just put one quartz on the mirror, and you can light one little candle. It can be white all purpose, and then just tell God what you want. Why are you doing this? Why are you lighting it? What's your intentions for, and what are you asking for? And it's amazing, you guys. I have a million manifesting stories, and I won't be able to tell them to you, but in the time period we have, but it really works. Again, I have a pool, and so you can see the moonlight reflecting a full moon, and that I put everything on it. And I use kind of a blue, beautiful blue tablecloth for that one. And I just did the blue moon one, and everything was blue on it. That was a lot of fun, Sabine.
So pretty.
It was. Now, I went to the thrift store and I found a great big mirror. And this time the moon was silver. And so I'm having a lot of fun using that and just putting crystals. I think I have lapis lazuli in there. And I can't make out the other stuff. It's hard. Maybe amethyst. I'm not really sure. So again, I don't get to see the full everything here. Now, I wanted to talk to everybody about selenite. because there's some crystals that are affected by moisture. Selenite's one of them. And depending on where you live, if it's a dry climate, don't worry about putting that out. But if it were to rain or get really wet in the morning, I would put it inside in, in the moonlight in a window. I wouldn't be putting it outside to get wet because I believe it will dissolve a bit. So I just got that crystal thing. But it is really neat to have it down there. If you sometimes what I'll do is if I'm real iffy about some of the stuff, and I'm going to show you again something that I wouldn't leave out. I will leave it out during the height of the full moon and light my candle, do my intention, and leave it out. But before I go to bed, I go out and I get it off the table because I may put it in the window because I don't want to chance anything melting or warping. So what we can see, let me see what the next one is your tarot cards. Now you're going to have a lot of people say, put your tarot cards out to charge. Well, they are even though they're plastic coated to a point, some of them are not as thick or treated. They can get wet. What do you got there? Oh, you've got your oracle cards.
I just want to show that I put my cards out and I leave them in the box, and you can cover them with, I don't know, a towel maybe. So I do put my cards out, before the full moon, to have the new energy on my cards.
Right. And you have them in your box, so that's good.
Yes.
I would do it in the summer. I wouldn't have a problem doing it in summer. But then again, I'm an energy worker, so I don't feel that you have to have the moon to do it. I clear it by just simply grabbing the energy, putting it into the cards, and going down and grabbing the energy and putting it in the cards. So I'm so used to clearing space in homes around me, around people, and I'm a healer. So I know I can grab the energy and just put it in the cards and clear it. I did this one thing, we have a video on it, where I wanted to infuse something. So what I did was I put a candle that I already made that had a certain intention on it. Say it was for protection or blessings or whatever, psychic awareness, whatever. And I put my Herkimer diamond in there. And then I lit the candle and I put a glass cookie jar upside down. And then I put a towel all the way around it. So no oxygen is going to go in. It's going to go out on its own. It filled up full of smoke. And then I took it off and I knew that that went into that Herkimer diamond. So you can do different ways of clearing things. Well, we love putting things out in the full moon. So just if you have any, get to know your rocks and your crystals and what you can leave out and what you can't. And again, stay in the flavor of what you're doing. And if you're asking that you're setting an intention of love, I don't want you to put any rocks that would be anti that. Okay. You want to put loving rocks in there that have that energy. So we're going to go on. So the hard thing is, you guys, is I can't read this because it's too small a print. So you can go online and you can find little spells that are fun. I have one when I am making tea, and I call it the Clockwork Conjure, and I'll put that up at some point. But people put on little rhymes because the Wiccan, we love our rhymes, and we want to just say a little rhyme out there. Brett says, would the platter material make a difference, like crystal versus porcelain, or is it all about the arrangement? Brett, it doesn't matter about the arrangement as much, and it doesn't matter about what it's on. You can put the crystal grid in sand or on wood. I'm all about natural materials. So when I work with burning anything, it's going to be in terracotta. It's going to be in something somebody made. As far as the setting it up, let your heart or your intuition, your gut, tell you how you want to set it up. And if you want guidance, there's a bunch of it on the internet that shows you all the different ways that you could set up a crystal grid. But everybody has their own idea and their own artistic flair. Do what feels good to you. If you see somebody's crystal grid and you go, I think that's wonderful, I think that's what I want to do, then go ahead and copy it. It's fine. And so you can find all these great jar spells and little sayings that you can do. And that was to increase wealth. This is a full moon enchantment spell. And part of it, I believe, is burning something and then throwing the ashes out the window. Do this on a rainy day or in the winter and when there's snow, but don't throw your ashes out anywhere. And be careful of your little chimneys and everything, that we don't start any fires, okay? And and then there's the full moon amulet protection. So again, you can go on and just say you want spells, and there's plenty of free ones around. And some of these people have cited who they are, so we give them credit. And you can just give you a way of doing your intention. So when I go out and I do my intention, and then Sabine, you'll tell us, I light the candle. Everything's done. I light the candle, and then I have a little saying where I'm dedicating it for these people, for the best, for them, and this, that, and the other. It's a little rhyme I do. And then I send it up to whoever they ask me to. So usually just to God and their spirit guides and everybody, to go ahead and facilitate this request. And then I'm in gratitude. That's part of manifesting, and thankful. And it's sent upward, and then I leave the candle on for a while. But we know not to leave candles burning, especially in the house. I'm not so worried outside by the pool, but I always keep an eye on it, and then I go out and I blow it out, and then I leave everything out all night. So that's how I do it. Now, Sabine, how would you do? You do things differently because you have a process of where you open your space and you do this. You want to take a couple minutes for that?
Sure. So what I do is I open sacred space and I address all the directions. I call in the spirit guides, the ancestors, and we have sometimes I have a rattle, or I do a little bit of drumming, and then we either release something, which we do in the South. And the directions have different archetypes. So in the South, it would be the serpent, also called Sachamama, and it's for the Native American term. And so I would address my wishes for release in the South. So it's best suited, to get yourself a compass or have the app on your phone. So actually, when you do it, so you're facing south. So this is a personal thing that I do. If you don't know where south is, but you would like to release something, then, just imagine, you're standing in that direction. And then after I do that, I have a candle going, and usually I use a smudge candle, and I can show you how that looks like. I have one right here. So this is one that I also made. And this has the sage on there, the sweet sage, and selenite, and rainbow aura quartz. And we have the candle burning, and then I put my intentions into the candle, and I just release it out. And usually I leave the candle on for a couple of hours, but as Debbie said, stay with the candle. Don't walk away and just let the candle burn, because you never know what's going to happen. So I have my stuff outside. I burn candles inside the night before the full moon.
I put up a full moon thing of how to release things, because there's certain things that you can do during the full moon, and one would be to get rid of the bad stuff. And so you can write that down and burn that, like Sabine was talking, or you can simply maybe light a candle and just state it out there that you release this, 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 and this. And so here's a little list that I've kept up that you can read and see. But when we talk about Wiccan, I'm going to show you something else that we do on the full moon. But one thing that I always do is I put a pitcher of water, usually that is in a crystal or a glass, but you can put in anything, put it under the moon. And so this just tells a little bit about charging water. I put it out, I set my intention, and that is really speaking what I'm going to use this water for, and grabbing the energy and putting it in. And that's what that water is going to be for. And when I do a ritual table the next day, if I have rosemary on the table, I will go to my rosemary plant and I will feed that plant. If I have a lemon on or a lemon wedge on the table, I will go to my lemon tree and I will put the rest of the water on there. So it's making it full circle. We're going back to the roots. Okay, and we are doing this and the water goes back there. Some people want to drink their water. I would make sure no bugs went in it. You can actually cover it if you like when you leave it out, but you can use it for whatever that you want. So we always want to do a pitcher of water and keep that out. I do a lot of water. I make holy water. You guys, anybody can make holy water, and we're running out of time now. We only have a few minutes left. We'll talk about making holy water and all of that another time. But you can carry that with you and use it wherever you're at. So that's what I like. And we'll talk about anointing oil when we have time. And
yes.
so.
Can I show something real
sure,
quick, Debbie?
Absolutely.
I have this one. This is so cute. So this is, I hope you can see this here.
Yes, I do. What's in that?
So I recently got this. This is oil for manifestation, and it got the little moon on there, and it smells like lavender and patchouli. And I use this. You can also anoint candles with this one if you like, or with any oil that you have. Just don't put too much to intensify the candle. So, but this one I'm trying out right now, and I feel it's working very well.
So, you guys, as far as candles go, I anoint them. I was talking to Sabine about this. I anoint mine actually with water. And be careful if you, it is a common practice to anoint things with oil, but remember that makes it a little bit more flammable depending on what the oil is. And as a Wiccan trained, we would take our candles and we actually carve a message in it. And we would burn it down past the carving. But we also use oil to anoint. But just in case, I use charged water. So there's an option there for you. But you know what? Play with essential oils. I do use them once in a while on the ritual table. And Sabine uses them for a lot of purposes. So when I went to the thrift store, a couple of these things on your left, the pedestal green dish and the front green dish are the two twins that I found months apart. It was just really crazy. But you can see this is for wealth. And I've got Sabine's selenite wand. I put it in there. It's in an old vinegar oil cruet. But this is what you want. You want to use green pebbles from the Dollar Tree. You know, you can buy the colored glass and fill it full of all the things that are in the list for wealth. And I got a little bell now. There's a little bell on there. Wow. And yes, I'm incorporating a bell. Now, so pretty. Here's my herbs and all of that. So I have it's a very deep, lots of things in there. I dry my own flowers and this, that, and the other. But you guys, if you're going to use dried stuff, I would replace it in, if it's a herb, their expiration date. But if you're bringing home roses and you're drying them, I even use onion skin and stuff like that. Replace it in 6 months. So keep just what you need for 6 months, and then, buy yourself some more roses or something.
Talking about roses, sorry, Debbie, I made this for the full moon.
Oh, how pretty.
So I took herbs, and then I had this rose, so I'm going to dry it, and then this is a smudge stick, and I'm going to burn that during the full moon.
Oh, that's awesome. So you don't have to have a big apothecary, but it's good to have a rose garden because roses, not only the bloom is for love, but if you look at that plant, it has a thorns, so it's a protective plant. But you can actually use the things that you use to cook and bake in your own kitchen. And so it doesn't have to be expensive to do any of this. I buy a lot of my salt because I use that as a base like Sabine does at a dollar store. And you can get kosher and you can get sea salt and all kinds of things. I don't think you can see it, but I even have violet salt that is there. And so anyway, don't don't think that you have to put a lot of money into any of this stuff because you can find it. And I wanted to show you guys I have floor to ceiling I live in a house of windows of glass, literally. And so I placed little, you can see petrified wood is there. That's one of my wards in my four corners. But you can also see that I found a little, if you guys can find those little olive trays, the skinny little trays, I found a little blue one. So I believe there is all kinds of things in there. There's probably wealth and love and protection. There should be obsidian on there. And so I have that. And I like to put things around. This is a Siam pewter dish there. And so pewter I like to use for different reasons or grounding. And a little amethyst candle there. It's not little, it's big. Okay. This is what I was telling you about. Wiccans like our brooms, and we like to sweep away the stuff we want out. So as Sabine's burning her intentions to go up in smoke, I am sweeping what I don't like out of my life. So, and that's just like a symbol, and it's a part of the ritual if you want it to be. Okay. Do what feels right. If you go into Wiccan or if you're a shaman, you can be a soul practitioner, but it's really, really a benefit if you can go through a mentorship with someone and really find out more, especially than we're showing you. You can use a little votive candle, or you could do a crazy thing like me and find in a consignment store a giant, tall, almost tall as I am, I think, candelabra. It is my white elephant in the room. I'm going to use it for the moonlight, for sure. And I just found some black unscented candles at a store. So keep your eyes out. If you're going to make candles, buy them in the thrift store or garage sales because you can melt them down and repurpose them and then make them just like new. So you know what, Sabine, we got through all our pictures.
Wow, that's great.
It's awesome. And it is 4 minutes after 7. So it's time to go. I want to thank you so much for being here and doing this. I really wanted to get into the full moon thing so that people can try putting something out. I've seen miracles happen, and I'm sure you have too, in the metaphysical world by using energy and all of these things and setting our intention and praying, you guys, because we include that. If you want to pray, pray. If you want to manifest, manifest. And we like to do the rituals and work with the energy and the magic, make magic. So you can too, if you want. There is several books out there. I love Scott Cunningham, but there's a lot of beginner Wicca books. And I have a set, and I don't have it in here, but you can go to Amazon and find them. And just do what resonates with you. Okay. Any last words, Sabine, to our viewers?
I just feel that whatever resonates with you, as you said, this is what you should use. And especially when you shop for crystals, sometimes you're drawn to something, and maybe at the moment you don't know why. But I would just maybe purchase that specific crystal that day and just, work with it and see, how you can, how it relates to you. And you can always add to your collection, but absolutely use what speaks to you.
That's a good one, because things will call you and you'll be drawn to them. In my life, I will go and I'll say, oh, I better get this. I'll buy this. And then lo and behold, not long after that, somebody's going to come, and I feel like the good witch in that show, because I will go, oh, here, you want that's exactly what you want. Here it is. I knew I had to get it for something, and it happens all the time.
It sure
So
does.
it does. So on that note, you guys, thank you so much for watching. We're very appreciative of it. We're going to send this out to YouTube world and out into the internet. We'd love it if you would share it out to friends that are interested. And we want to say also, please come watch Sunday's show. We're going to be at Mount Hope Cemetery and doing a ghost tour with our meetup group on Psychic Fixes. So we'll hope to, there's going to be a lot of mediums with Janine out there. I'll be running the show here at the house. So please, watch that. You never know what happens in those cemetery shows. So please go ahead and watch that. It's going to be at 7 p.m. Pacific, Sunday night. So anyway, Sabine, you have a great weekend. Please stay in the lobby with me, and we're going to say goodbye now to everybody. Take care,
Okay, well,
everyone.
thank you.
Blessings to you.
Okay, goodbye.